Beez on the WhatCulture Rock Show, our very first guest, Corey Taylor.
It's an auspicious occasion now, right?
Monumentous in its own way.
I feel like this is a cool check mark too. Like I'm finally on WhatCulture, so this is pretty good, right?
Love it. So we were just starting to talk before we push record about the boys, because this is what I wanted to start. So first and foremost, how did you get involved with having Solway Firth used with the boys?
I tell you what, I mean, they reached out. I think we were casting about, because honestly, and this is a true story, 10 years ago ish, I had told my management that they need to look up who holds the rights to the boys, like movie wise, like maybe not even television, but movie wise, because it's one of my favorite trades that was ever actually. Oh, so good. And obviously it was locked up with somebody, and it was I mean, and then honestly, that was the last time I really heard about it. And then fast forward about a year ago or ish, they were putting it together, and they were actually reaching out to us to see if there was music that we could, give over.
Yeah.
And honestly, it all just kind of lined up perfectly, So even they sent me some early episodes, and obviously I'm gagging. I'm just like, I was losing my mind. So I was like, yes, give them whatever they want, And Solway Firth would just. It just worked. It was perfect, So yeah, and the rest is history.
It was the first trade I ever started reading, for starters.
Nice. Wow.
And
okay.
I was so skeptical going into it. I loved Carl Urbaner's Dread.
Right.
But with this accent.
Right.
And having read The Butcher, I was so desperate for them to get it right. What I was most impressed with the show was how they somehow managed to make Homelander even more hateable on the show than he is in the trade.
Yeah, man. The actor who plays him really nails that sadistic disdain, that is just behind the eyes, when he's just looking at you. He's just like, I could drill through your hole, drill through your head with anything I want. And it's just that, to me, that and it makes you instantly connect with what that story is about. It's about the fact that absolute power is, corrupts absolutely. Yeah. And so it's insane, and then you can just see it. You can see Mav's pain. You can see, poor Huey.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God. I never thought it would, I never thought they would nail the epitome of his loss better than the comic than they did in the show. And I was just like,
true.
It was brilliant. It was really good.
They didn't hold back on the violence one bit.
Not one iota. It was so perfect. Oh, it was so good.
So let's talk all things Slipknot then, right?
Yes.
So We Are Not Your Kind. The response has been overwhelmingly good.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Something I wanted to talk to you about is something that I think we both share in common, in that I admire bands that don't care about what reaction is first and foremost. I feel like too many bands second guess what an audience wants and paints themselves into a corner. And something that really stands out with We Are Not Your Kind, particularly the second half of it, is this is a Slipknot album made for Slipknot first and foremost, and us after. If we like it, great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of been our mantra since day one, and there have been hints of it over the years, and that kind of unconventional thinking and the approach to, what we want. We really kind of hinted at it on Volume 3, and this album to me feels like a great mixture of Volume 3 and Iowa. That darkness, but with that creative, artistic vibe. Like it felt like that's the way we were kind of heading, and then, for whatever reason, the turmoil in the band or whatever, it kind of got off the rails a little bit, and things got a little more conventional. So coming back to this felt great. I mean, we were like, just the shackles were off, man. It was just like, okay, let's make an album for us again and see what happens. Because obviously Point 5 was us mending and just, you know, kind of letting ourselves mourn and feel like, okay, do we want to do this? You know, once we answered that question, it became, okay, let's see where we're going to go now. And because we did that, and because we just went completely unconventional, it really challenged the way people listen to us again. It's made people go back and listen to the old stuff and go, dude, did I miss something here? Like, how does this make sense in you know,
as a timeline?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what's been really great about it. And it's got me excited about the whole thing again.
So was that the fun in putting together, like when you're doing something like Spiders, right? That is way left of centre. Like I can even tell by the look on your face as we're saying it. Was it the mischief was back and the almost not knowing how people were going to take it, things like that, and the opening of Soul Wafer,
right? Yeah,
just throwing the ball as far as you can throw it.
I mean, it was great, man. You know, it was one of those things where when Clown played me the music for Spiders, because that was something that he and V-Man and Jim had kind of put together with Jay. And it was so different that it got me excited. It was like, okay, I can take this song in 4 or 5 different directions, you know?
Yeah.
Where do I want to go with it? And honestly, it made sense to go a little more minimal and a little stark and really play with the melody a little more. Because I tried a couple of different things that didn't feel as creatively accurate, you know? And once I kind of stopped thinking about it and just went, you know what? What if I just started from scratch and find what works for me? It was awesome, and that really was kind of what this album was about, was trial and error. It was finding what worked, you know? Let's try like 6 or 7 ideas. Whichever one, maybe it's the first idea that we had, maybe it's the 4th or 5th, but either way, just really going with the strongest hook, the strongest melody line. You know, it wasn't necessarily about the words. It was more about, you know, what feels the best, kind of churning these things up. And yeah, it was killer.
Was there a moment, like when you say about Point 5 being, well, unquestionably the most difficult record that you have made?
Yeah, it was tough.
But like, was there a moment where the confidence come back when it came to the songwriting? I
think so. Yeah, I mean, kind of after the tour cycle, definitely. I mean, those guys started writing like right away.
Right.
Like really started demoing a lot of stuff. So it was about 1.5 years or so after that, after we had wrapped on that, that they started throwing stuff at me, and I could already tell there was like a different energy to it. You know, it was almost like, the hesitation was gone, you know? They were excited again, you know? So I got stuff like Orphan super early. I got stuff like Nero Forte, was Nero Forte. Yeah, I mean, I got that stuff, and it was just, I mean, it was balls out, dude. Solway Firth, from the second I heard it, was my favorite track. Like, and I knew that I wanted to do something really, really special with it.
No.
And yeah, I mean, from the it was hard to beat the demo too, because the demo had so much raw, just ridiculous energy to it. And we did, man. We really made sure that we did it right.
So, I've asked about the confidence, but when you throw in that chorus in Nero Forte, how did the other members of Slipknot react? Because I know you're a funny bunch. You're all very different people. Like that being like. I like to think that there's not much that will surprise me at this point, but first listen was like, wow. I literally don't know how to when I was trying to describe it to people, I was like, you can't say it's poppy because it's not really, but it's way unlike any other vocal line you've ever put in, not just Slipknot, but in any of your projects. Yeah,
no, I mean, the cool thing is like that chorus was the one I really was struggling with, to be honest, you know. Everything I wrote just didn't match the great shit that was going on in the lyrics, and then that bridge, that the chorus, it just always felt like the ass was falling out of it. I mean, for lack of a better term. But honestly, I took my cue from a melody line that Clown had put on there with a keyboard, actually, which I didn't even hear that melody line until then he pointed it out. He was like, listen to this, and I actually listened to it, and that became the high falsetto vibe.
Yeah.
And then I wrote the harmony to that, and then it just took off from there, you know? So it was one of those things where it was almost like learning a new lesson. It's like sometimes you don't have the best idea.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that the best idea isn't there, you know?
Yeah.
And we just kind of went from there.
So I should probably talk touring cycle before we're kind, because you've done Knotfest this summer. I can't help but be eagle-eyed and say we are at a US festival.
Yeah.
You are conspicuous with your absence on the festival touring circuit in Europe next summer.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that those people get Knotfest?
We're discussing it.
Do you like the way that noise happened at that moment? If you believe in other energy, it was.
Let's just say, and I will not, I can't confirm a lot.
Right.
But let's just say things are being bandied about.
Okay.
And respectfully, and this is kind of what I've said since day one, is the fact that we weren't going to come in and try to flood these territories who have helped us get to where we are and be disrespectful. You know, so this is actually, you know, we're trying to do it in a cool way, in a smart way, and a respectful way. So yes, that's the plan, as it were.
All
now,
right.
obviously, you know, things may fall apart. We don't know, but for now, yes, we are working that out as we speak.
Let's talk movies again before you go.
Right,
then.
Absolutely.
So, horror movies this year. Has anything really stood out to you?
I mean, obviously, Chapter 2.
What did you think?
I loved it. I mean,
you did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hated it.
Really?
Like, it was so long, and I've got like a lot of patience for this sort of thing.
But see, I love long movies like that, especially when I'm like invested in what's going on. And you know, I mean, honestly, it was one of my favorite King books.
Right.
It wasn't my favorite, but it was one of my favorites because it just expanded that whole universe and drew me in. I have fond memories of the TV show. Yeah. Not great memories, but fond memories, because obviously nobody's touching Tim Curry. But I loved the first It so much that bled, and I loved the actors in that movie in part 2. So that really kept me engaged. I loved it. I thought it was great, and the scares were, dude, they were awesome. I loved it.
I liked the dream sequences, but I felt like so much of it was retreading ground from the first one a little.
Well, that's in the book too, though. I mean, think about it. Like, they come back 28 years later. What are you gonna do?
What is your favorite Stephen King book then?
Oh, The Stand.
Oh, right.
Easily,
which they're in the middle of making.
Yeah,
something.
which oh god, I'm nervous. Like, really, because I didn't like the TV series. Like, yeah, there were certain castings that I loved. There were a lot of major castings that I hated with that. So, once again, I'm reserving judgment. But that's, you know, I read. I have the hardback version of the unabridged version that came out in '88. That's my original copy.
Wow.
Where they added back in the 100,000 words from the cut. And I read it like every year, every 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah, so I could pretty much quote it to you. It's ridiculous. I'm a weirdo. But that's my favorite, yeah.
Endgame.
Dude, to this day, I can't watch that without crying my eyes out. I mean, just openly weeping. Like, and my son, who... We've been going to, you know, the superhero movies since he was very, very young. Right. And every time we watch Endgame, he just looks at me and goes, "Again? Jay, really?" And I'm like, "You don't know." And I'm
3,000.
Openly. Yeah.
You little...
Yeah. I love you. 3,000. If no parent has said that to their kids, then they have really not understood the power of a comic book movie. Yeah.
I was stoked as well on the casting for the dude from Green Book. That's gonna be Blade.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to be excited about, and I think you're more of a comic book guy than I am, because a lot of these next characters, Shinji and Eternals and things like that, are things that I'm less au fait with. So I'm looking forward to them taking us on that journey.
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking, because the Eternals I was always kind of like iffy on. Yeah. It was a little too cosmic. However, I mean, I felt the same way about Guardians, you know? And the great thing about Marvel, say what you want, it's, you know, it's fast food, it's whatever. People, they put those movies, they have started putting those movies in the right hands, which is why
absolutely.
Gunn's movies worked. It's why the Russos were perfect for building and expounding on those universes. So I'm so stoked about Derrickson's second Strange movie, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's one of my favorite directors.
They've said they're going further into horror territory with it as well.
Which is like, I'm hoping that may hint at a Midnight Suns run. Which,
really?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, and for people who are fans of the comic, you know that, and I doubt it'll happen with Morbius because obviously it's a Sony thing, but you've still got the Night Stalkers that you can work with, obviously with Blade being cast.
Yeah.
They can go back in, do Van Helsing, they can do King, excuse me. That you've got all of these different people, like all of those different things. They got Ghost Rider. You bring Gabriel Luna in to do, or Diego Luna, excuse me. You let him be that Ghost Rider, but then you hint at the other spirits of vengeance. I just think it could be cool. You bring in Werewolf by Night. It's one of those things where then you have like universes inside of universes. That could be really, really cool.
That's what it feels like we're going.
I'm hoping, yeah.
So I guess we'll close up by, we were talking about, you played a bunch of solo shows out here.
Yeah.
The boldness of going for Prince, Corey Taylor.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like...
Yeah. If you're going to go big.
Like...
You're going to go, you going to what? You going to walk halfway home? What are you going to do? Pitch a tent?
Mate.
You better figure it out.
Going... For all the way from In Excess, The Eagles and Prince through to Minor Threat and all those things, do those shows, are they like the inside workings of all things that make you the musician you are?
I mean, the great thing about being a fan is you never forget the passion that you have for music. You never forget the songs that you love, you know? And for me, there's no such thing as guilty pleasure. So I'm going to listen and play whatever I want, you know? So it was great, man. It's been cool to kind of start building the momentum towards the potential solo run, which I'm working on. So
which, you know, now, like, before, when you've looked at everything that you've done, like, I was like, I'm not sure what a Corey Taylor record would sound like.
And that is the exciting part.
Like, that circle seems to have stretched out even further.
Exactly.
Is it an expect the unexpected style?
It is to an extent. It's definitely going to be rock based, but it's going to be, but rock means so many different things.
Yeah.
So there will be harder edge stuff, but there will also be big, expansive, you know, huge, world-changing guitar songs, you know, that you are going to want to sing along to. I mean, that's just who I am, you know, and I'm not going to fight who I am. You know?
God, no. Like, and how far into it? How far into it?
I've got 26 songs written.
Wow.
And I'm not done yet. Yeah, so I got a bunch of stuff written on piano. Like, it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, here first. WhatCulture Rock Show, first guest ever, Corey Taylor, mate. Thank you so much.
No worries, brother. Thank you.